Hello everyone. Welcome to my presentation about technology integration frameworks. Whenever we consider integration technology into the classroom for educational purposes, we have to look to different ways to have been proven it's been successful in that way. In this presentation, I had listed the the five different frameworks: the TIP, SAMR model, LOTI, TIM, and TPACK model. And today I'll be talking to you in details about the TIP. But before we go any further, I want to explain to you what is the TIP model. The TIP model is a model that gives the teacher a general approach to addressing challenges involved into teaching. It provides a helpful guide on procedures and certain issues that you might have addressed when implementing new technologies into the educational curriculum. The TIP takes broke down into five different phases to help outline the implementation in technology. Each of these phases help ensure technology will be used efficiently and tastefully, meeting the needs of the educational system. The first phase is determine the relative advantage of the lesson or the project. Now, during this phase, teacher actually should be looking to recognize relative advantages that will help out in the classroom. You, the teacher, want to look and see what the problem is you will be addressing and what technologies will be using at this point, and look for advantage for evidence of what kind of technology could help out for this situation. The teacher needs to ask herself, does the technology based methods offer solution that is relative to her advantages? Also consider how well the technology work for her, and the teacher also want to consider the required effort offered and expenses that may occur when using the technology. Phase two in this model, in the TIP model, is during this phase, you definitely need to make sure you have clear objectives and outcomes, and outcomes, and assessments in mind. You want to ask yourself, what kind of work or what kind of outcome do I expect from using a new method? And during this phase, make sure to focus on the result, not the process. You also want to ask yourself what the best way to assess the outcomes. Do you want to use a written test? Do you want to use a checklist, or maybe you would rather use a rubric to assess a complex task? Basically, you want to clarify what is expected to do, expected, and to do how to do this project or this lesson. You must do some planning to make it, a successful lesson or a successful project. During this phase also, or during this time while trying to figure out objectives and outcomes, you might want to consider or use different type of scale surveys, such as the Likert scale or the semantic differential scale to assess the outcomes. At this time, you will also be setting the environment for the objectives and not only the outcomes. The phase three of the model is of the TIB is to design integration strategies. At this point, you want to use some type of directed or constructive approach. You want to ask yourself, what kind of instructional methods are needed, and you want to make sure what strategies will work best. And this will be considering activities such as collaborative internet research, or maybe some type of viewing of videos, or maybe just a desktop publishing, such as a multimedia project like an iMovie or Windows Movie Maker. You know, what is the strategies I'll be using to implement this project. And in this phase also, you have to make sure you have a good sense of teaching and learning methods that they're going to be used as well. You're going to make sure you prepare the students as well as have your notes together on how you're going to use the technology. You want to know what the technology would do best, or the technology best support the method that you have, or even the grouping, or even the grouping you end up using. Do you want to know if you're going to use a whole class or just a small groups, or maybe just make the lesson as individual, each individual do their own project. You definitely want to prepare and teach each student before the project is actually done. Basically, based on the project itself, you want to group them, or maybe just have them do on their own project. Phase 4 also, now this at this phase of the TIP model is preparing your instructional content. And also during this phase, you want to make sure you have the essential condition for effective technology use. Also make sure you have the adequate hardware, software, media, and plenty of time to use all of the resources available. Or if there's any students with special need, you want to make sure all their need, will be met. You'll definitely want to ask yourself, what do I need to do? Uh, what do I need to do for this lesson? You want to make sure all the equipments are ready, make sure all the software, media materials, and planning done, because actually, you actually work to go in and have everything ready, such as handouts, bookmarks, links, available websites, or anything the student might need to get the work done. You also want to, consider, or maybe some troubleshooting, have available for the students in case something didn't work out. What do you need to do? What you have to do, and definitely consider students with the special needs. If they have access to everything they need, and if there's any extra assistive technologies they might need to help them do the project. And also maybe at this point you need to discuss the privacy issues with the students, and citizenship, digital citizenship characters as well. That's the time to consider all this stuff. The phase the now is the fifth phase and final phase of the TIP model, is to evaluate and revise integration strategies. During this time, you want to look and ask yourself what actually worked, as well as what could have been improved. And of course, during this time, at this time, you could do some type of teacher evaluation and students evaluation, and may a reflection of your own work, that at this time or at that part, because you want to ask the students what did they like about the lesson, and how did they think this lesson would have been improved. In this phase, the teacher needs to evaluate herself and imagine and maybe do a revision checklist to make sure that they will definitely do the lesson better the next time. Thank you for listening, and this is my project about, or this is my presentation about the TIP model of the 5 frameworks. Thank you very much.